Okay, this is the story of the first time that I realized that I need to look inward rather than focusing on my external reality. All the signs were pointing to it for quite a while up to this point, but this was the time that I couldn't ignore it. There was no chance of ignoring it anymore. It just look inside yourself. Everything was pointing to it. So this is that story. If you find value in this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Let's just jump right into it. Enjoy. The story is really the story that started my spiritual searching. Prior to this experience, I had a few instances with weed, of all things, that was kind of pointing at going within, and it was really scrambling up my understanding of reality, but I would always go back to how I was, and I wasn't really paying attention to what was happening. But this experience was so powerful that I could not go within. It just obliterated me. So it all began. It was at a Halloween party, and I wasn't on the path by any stretch. I brought my Coke and my Crown Royal to drink that night, and I drank a pretty good amount of it. And the party went on, and I ended up going outside, and there was these two guys there that they were dressed as Cheech and Chong, and one of them rolled a joint before they came. The thing was really big. Like, he said it took 12 rolling papers to roll, as part of his costume, but eventually he pulled it out and we started passing it around. I remember my wife coming to the party. She came for a little bit, but she told me not to get too crazy because the next day was our daughter's first birthday. I was like, oh yeah, no worries. I'll behave. So we were outside, and my wife's gone home by this point, and the joint's being passed around. And it comes to me, and I just pass it on. I'm like, no, I can't do it. Yeah, I've had a few experiences with weed in the recent past, that really messed me up. One of them, I was coming down from mushrooms, and I ended up smoking weed at the end of my trip, and I went into like a psychotic state. Like, I was just in a psychosis for 2-3 days, which just nothing made sense. And my wife was worried I was going to hurt myself, so she took me to work with her. Yeah, that was wild. Then another time, my wife was going away somewhere with her family. Yeah, so she went away with her family. So I'm like, I got the weekend to myself. So I got a bunch of THC scraped from the bottom of my grinder, and I put it in my bong. I took a huge rip, and oh my god, everything was inside out, and everything was wrong. There's something wrong. I need to find what's wrong. There's a problem that I need to solve. My buddy had to come and practically babysit me for 2 days. So I've had these experiences with weed. Like, in my early 20s, I was quite a pothead. I'd smoke almost every day, pretty much every day, and I enjoyed it. It was just purely recreational. It was very enjoyable, and slowly it progressed to being more and more paranoid, more and more chaotic, and it wasn't enjoyable. It was turning into medicine, but I wasn't aware that it was turning into medicine for me. It was just completely unconscious. So back to the party. So yeah, the drink gets passed around, I pass it on, and then it gets passed around again, and I'm thinking, like, I don't want to miss on this. I'm still, in my mind, I'm still that pothead when I was in my early 20s that, I smoked quite a lot. So I took a big hit of this thing, and fuck, the second I inhaled, it was like being sucked through a vacuum, and the entire density of reality changed. It just turned into a vacuum, and there's no way to describe it. I went over to the flowers, and I was coughing. Just coughing. I was spitting up and coughing. And then I came back to the group, and the energy was different. It was so different. Everyone was out to get me. Everyone was against me. And everyone was laughing at me and pointing at me. Like, this is my perception of how it happened. It was just the ego was just, like, all the attention was brought on me. And I was bringing all the attention on myself internally. And what happened, we were playing this drinking game. And the way that the drinking game worked out, it was just so synchronistic that I lost on the very last round. It was so perfect that I couldn't believe it. But at the same time, it was like, oh yeah, it's obviously going to happen this way. And then I lost, and then everyone laughed. And I was just like, okay, like, this is not good. Something is not right here. Prior to this, I really didn't have much experience with synchronicity. You know, I researched consciousness on YouTube. I'd watch videos, but I didn't really know what I was looking at. But yeah, okay, so from that experience, from when I was outside, I decided I needed to get away from this group, and I went outside, I went back inside, and there was two girls that I normally don't talk to. You know, we're together, we're always at the same parties, but I never really have any deep conversations with them. And they come up to me and they're asking me if I'm okay. I'm like, there's something wrong, something's wrong, I don't know what's wrong. And they're like, okay. And then I started asking them a bunch of like really outlandish questions, and then I land on, like, I'm talking to one of them now, one of the girls now, and I land on, do I hate you? And then there's a pause, and then it was like, yes, I think I hate you. Like, I'm telling this to this poor girl. It's like, I hate you. That's it. That's it. I hate you. And I'm projecting how I feel about myself onto this person. And it was like I couldn't hide from myself anymore and how I felt about myself. Unfortunately, somebody externally had to take the brunt of it, but you know, we've cleared it up since then, so there's no love lost there. But it was really interesting how it happened. So from there, I told the person I hated them, and then I went to the bathroom, and yeah, I must have passed out for a long time. I don't know, passed out, I was probably motionless, but I remember sitting down in the bathroom, I rubbed some water on my face, and I sat down, and then I went into this like psychedelic experience from one hit of weed. It was a big joint, but I never had weed so powerful. You know, I was in this bubble, or this tube, or like kind of like those little pods in Jurassic World or whatever, where they could drive around as like a hamster wheel. And I was in this like pod, and the pod was on this highway, and the highway was like a ring. So it was just going in a complete circle, but the ring was around this giant, and I mean giant entity. You know, it was this elephant with like 4 arms or 6 arms or something. It looked like an Indian god, and I've looked it up since then, and Ganesh is the closest resemblance. You know, I know nothing about, you know, that culture, but I know what I saw. It's just so massive. So I'm on this pod, and the pod is like it's racing toward this thing, God or whatever. It is massive, just so massive. So I'm on the highway, and I'm going around the ring, and the ring, there's like multiple rings, and they're all interconnected, and they're all spiraling around this being. And you know, it looks like I'm getting closer. It looks like I'm getting closer, but I'm not really making any progress. And it's just so big, it looks like no matter how much distance I cover, there's always space between it. It's between us. And then finally, I make it really close to it, and the spiral's going around. And then when I make contact with the being, I wake up, and I'm in the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, I come out of the bathroom, and the party's like dead. There's nobody there. You know, I had all my DJ gear. I was into DJing at the time, so I brought it all, and I just left it. I was like, I just got to get home. So I go upstairs. There's a few people left at the party, and they're trying to, you know, they're asking me if I'm okay. They're trying to get my attention. I cannot interact with anybody. I gotta go. Don't talk to me. I gotta go. So I go outside, and then the guy that owned the place, he came out and he was talking to me. And I remember when he came out, he looked like he was dressed, like, I don't even remember what he was dressed as, but he looked like some like spirit being, some like almost like Beetlejuice in a sense, Papa Shango, something like that. And we were talking for a bit. He was making sure I was okay, but I was just trying to leave. And a couple more people came out. I was like, I gotta go. And I lived pretty far away, but I couldn't interact with anybody, so I just left. I just started walking down the street away from his house, and he lives kind of on a dead end. I mean, at the very end of the street, there's a little alleyway that connects to the street and behind, but the cars on it are all coming from one of the houses. There's no through traffic or anything. So I'm walking away, and when I was outside, probably 15-20 minutes talking to this guy. So I'm walking away about 1 to 2 minutes, and the next thing I know, a cab pulls up away from the house. So the cab pulls up, and it had a few people from the party in it. And it still doesn't make sense where this cab came from. They pulled over and they're like, hey, do you need a ride home? It was like the universe was just giving me exactly what I needed. It doesn't make any sense, but I just, yeah, please. So I hop in, and the whole ride home was super chaotic. You know, my mind was racing, and I was projecting all the things that were racing into the conversation that these people were having with the cab driver. I remember getting home and just like slowly getting upstairs, and then I jump into bed, and my wife rolls over. She's like, hey, you're home. I'm like, I think I told so-and-so. I told her I hate her. What is wrong with you? Okay, just go to sleep. And I don't think I slept that night. The next day was my daughter's first birthday, so we had 30 to 35 people coming over to the house, and it was so challenging. I spent most of the party in the bathroom, like washing my face, and everything was so connected. It was just hyper connected in comparison to what I had previously thought as my baseline reality. Like everything is connected all the time, but there were just so many layers that had to be removed for me to be like this, and they were just all obliterated. The night before was basically like a 6 to 8 hour ego death, and then what preceded was a 2-week long rebuilding or restructuring of my ego, and it was so slow. So yeah, the party happened, and my mom was there. She could tell something was off with me, and I was just like, I was saying goodbye to her outside, and I was giving her a hug. I was crying. I was like, I don't want you to die. I don't want you to die. Like, I was just so out of character of what I'm normally like. Yeah, I was just seriously going through some stuff. And then my buddy was there. I was talking to him for a while, and I probably didn't make any sense. Just reality doesn't make any sense at all. And I'm trying to describe how I'm seeing it. I ended up going to work the next day. It was like hyper connected. It was just so hyper connected. Like, I was able to spend most of the day in the bathroom, and I'm like running the place. Like, I'm like a manager in a warehouse, and I was absent for probably over half the day. But nobody said anything. There was no problems. Usually in that place, it's like if you take an extra smoke break, or if you take an extra 10 minutes on your coffee break or whatever, everyone will like give you the dirty look, and it's just like that. But it was just so like, the experience was so it was like backing me. Like it was like on my side. Like reality was on my side, even though I was going through this like really challenging internal dialogue and internal experience. Reality was like providing me with the necessary environment for me to move forward. So I remember talking to my boss, and I was thinking like it was like this for an entire week of like just pure struggle and pure trying to make sense of it. And at the beginning of the second week was where things started to slowly make sense again. And by the end of the second week, I was kind of back at, well, I wasn't back to normal, but I was back to being able to be a functioning member of society. And this experience really started it all. Like, then I started researching like what happened, what is going on, and then I decided that, or I saw Martin Ball's video with Leo from actualize.org, and the first question he asked is, can you become enlightened with 5-MeO-DMT? And Martin's just like, yep. And he had a whole explanation, but it was just basically yes. And as soon as he said that, it's like, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I want. Whatever that is, that's what I'm going for. And that's kind of been what I've been working on for the last 3 years. I've had some wild times on psychedelics, but yeah, it's all been worth it to get me to where I am right now. So that's what this channel is about. I'd highly encourage anyone to, if they do decide to do this stuff, especially with 5-MeO-DMT, that you have a trip sitter above all else. But I'm showing you that it is possible to do it on your own. I mean, the videos that I put up where I'm on the mat and everything's just flowing, and I'm, I am God, I am reality, and I'm, my hands are coming up and everything's symmetrical. It wasn't always like that. It wasn't always as smooth, or I didn't always speak English, or I missed a large chunk of the beginning of my journey. I'd roll around and I'd struggle with it. And another thing too is that I'm not showing behind the scenes. I've cried so much during my integration. I've had so much fear and breaking down of who I thought I was. It's all got to come out somehow. That energy needs to be released, and when it manifests, it's coming out in one way or another. So I still don't really know exactly what I'm doing with this channel. I'm showing you like an energetic transformation, but after that I don't know what's gonna happen. It would be nice to work with people on 5-MeO, and then hopefully have like people, if people would want to be filmed while doing it, that would be ideal. But if people would at least give testimonials to the change that 5-MeO and any other substances that happen to play a part come into play, because This stuff has changed me for the better. And I'm more in touch. I feel more connected with everybody and everything. I just love. I love, and I'm not even there yet. Like I'm not enlightened. I'm not vibrating at love or whatever way you want to describe it. So there's more to this, and I'm just like pouring with love. I just love. It's incredible. And before I was not like this at all. I was selfish, and I just, I wanted, all I did was go to work, come home, and then I just wanted to play my video games. That's it. Whatever I was into, work on my bike, or just I wanted to do my own thing. But then going through this process, well, now I just want to give. I just want to give, and to everybody, to any way that I can. And even that it's not at its like peak yet. Like I haven't reached a place where it's effortless, but it's becoming effortless. Because this channel, I'm putting a lot of effort into it, but it's fun and it's enjoyable, and I'm just loving life for the first time in a very long time. Yeah. At the time of, when I had my experience, this weed experience that I described, I had, aside from the job never brought me fulfillment, but I had a beautiful wife, beautiful child, a big house, we got brand new cars in the driveway, we got money to go on vacations like 3-4 times a year. We're very lucky in that sense. We're living a good life. We've, worked hard, we built a life for ourselves, and I was so miserable. I got everything that I wanted, and it wasn't it. It brought no satisfaction. So there's something deeper that I'm going after, and this channel is a result of it, at least a part of it. So anyway, that's all. So thanks for listening. If you're still here, if you found value in this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. I'm trying to bring information to the public about psychedelics as tools for self-discovery and ultimately enlightenment. Subscribe, leave a comment. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer any of them. And like, comment, subscribe. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.